Top Fives, the show of everything Top Fives, presented by the Sex Effects. I'm Joey Parati.
And I'm Sean Day.
And folks, we have a very, very special show for you this evening. Usually I'm faking that. I mean it today, tonight, this evening, whatever it is for you watching. I don't know. You could be watching on a later date. You're probably not tuning in live. We have 0 viewers right now. But Jonathan, help me welcome Alisia Martinez to the show.
Yay. Round of applause, I know.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Yes, Jonathan, you came up with a good top 5. It involves video games. Alisia is a video game designer.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Yes.
So it seemed like kismet.
Yeah.
Yes. Jonathan, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay. It's just after the holidays, right? So we had it's the year 2021 now, guys. So
Apparently.
it feels the same to me a little bit, but
yeah. It's
yeah.
the sequel to 2020.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes, but I don't know. It was a good holiday. At least I got to see like my family, and I got to see you guys for the holidays as well,
Yes.
which was really nice. And
It was beautiful.
yeah, it was a little bit of normalcy, I would say, aside from all the things that have kind of been thrown at us this last year. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it was nice, and I'm glad to be kind of I don't know, just trying to make my way through this first like month of of 2021. But I'm excited at least for the year, and hopefully it'll be positive year moving forward. That's what we all
Hopefully it'll be a COVID negative year, honestly.
A COVID
Hopefully.
negative year. Yes. Exactly.
Too many positives recently, honestly.
Yeah. How was your New Year's?
Honestly, it was super chill. I just watched movies. I didn't do much. I didn't get super crazy. Didn't go out anywhere. But I'm sure I share probably the same kind of night than compared to like a lot of people that I talk to about New Year's. So, yeah, nice and quiet. Pretty chill. Yeah. Then I had to be up at work early in the morning, and this is the crazy part: is I work in Pasadena, and usually, New Year's Day they have the Rose Parade, which is like a huge thing in Pasadena. But this year they didn't have it, and it's like I don't know how many years it's been since they've never had the parade. So it was such a strange New Year's Day at work in Pasadena. Very quiet, like a ghost town. So
very different. Yeah.
Very different.
Yikes.
But it's all good. I mean, one, it was a nice little break, I think, for all the residents of Pasadena. And I don't know. It's just been like that kind of year. And, it's just it makes sense that this stuff would happen. But hopefully a lot of positive changes we will see in the future, and a COVID negative year, as we all hope for. So,
amen.
Right.
Amen.
Amen.
How about you guys? How's your New Year's? What'd you guys do in San Francisco?
Well, it was so I worked all day, but my brother and his lovely girlfriend Bianca came through, and we made steak bites. We made chicken.
Yeah. Your mom got me a Chrissy Teigen cookbook for Christmas, so we just kind of went a little nuts on that. Made some chicken lettuce wraps, which were a bomb.
Yes. Made old fashions.
Ooh, old fashions from scratch.
I did. Nice. Yeah, I'd never made them before, and you could tell.
I did not have any.
I had like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So it was a really, really great night. It was a lot of fun. And like woke up, ordered breakfast to be delivered.
Happy.
I was making coffee. I was dancing in the kitchen. Like, I had such a good time last night. Wow.
I look at my phone, and my mom calls me. I'm like, okay, I'll call her back. And it says, I message her. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm sleepy. And then she said, hi, I'm COVID positive.
Oh no.
So turns out my entire family got COVID from their trip to Tahoe, which, surprise, stay at home.
Wow.
I mean, that's what they've been telling us. So yeah, my mom, my dad, my brother, my uncle, my aunt, my cousins, and I briefly saw my mom that New Year's Day. So we were in a panic after that wonderful night with your brother and his girlfriend. We were
Who
just
went
like,
back to my parents.
yes. So we're like, okay, all the family's contagious.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, but no, we're so far negative.
Yeah.
And ideally.
But quarantining together until we get a follow-up test and really kind of solidify. But I finally got the test where they jam it up for you.
Oh yeah. Ugh.
That shit was ticklish. I hated it.
It's weird because they go way farther than you're expecting, I guess.
What did the
Yeah.
guy say to me?
Yeah, relax. So relax your left nostril a little bit more. It's like,
Relax your nostrils.
you're in it. My
I don't
brain
think I've
is
ever
there.
relaxed my nostrils before.
Yeah, right. That's a new thing. No one's ever
Yeah,
said
how do
that
you do
sentence
that?
before
Yeah.
COVID. Good lord. Good lord.
Yeah, COVID, man. Actually, I have a friend of mine who has it as of right now. So
I'm
it
sorry to
is
hear that.
obviously becoming quite a reality for a lot of us, I think, who are
Yeah.
kind of close by. It's starting to reach our within our circles, I would say. So it is kind of scary, and obviously, it's different for every person, I think, who gets it. So I think best we could do, right, is just isolate and yeah, see how we can keep it that way through 2021 until we can all get vaccinated or something else happens. So we will see.
Yeah, something else. The
Yeah,
mecca of COVID.
something else is gonna happen. That'll
Yeah,
be the thing.
another. Well, there's all these other strains. Oh man. Anyways,
Yeah.
I don't want to get. I don't
Mhm.
want to bring the mood down, guys, with the COVID talk. But
Oh yeah.
it was a huge part of this last year, and it's still affecting us now. So, Joey and I started doing these streams. I don't know if it's in a result of the COVID stuff, but we definitely made a push to stream our show and everything, and kind of widened our reach a little bit since a lot of people are staying home. Yeah, it's affected a lot of different people in different lives, so nothing to ignore, I would say, right? So,
Definitely not.
yeah, definitely not. Yeah, man. Anything else?
But it's a good way to kick off the new year.
It's chill. It's chill. Everyone's fine for the most part.
Everything's fine. This pandemic that's still brewing a year later, right? Like, oh man.
And we'll continue to. Yeah, it's so spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Any pop
see.
culture news that is?
I was just gonna
brewing?
say I've got a list because it's been about a month since we did a show. We don't usually go that long, but it's been crazy. It's been a really crazy month or so. I mean, it's been a crazy fucking year, but yeah. So we've got some catch up to do. I think there's some movies and TV shows we've all seen that we can kind of talk about. Wonder Woman 1984 came out Christmas Day simultaneously in the theaters and on streaming on HBO Max. Boo. Jonathan, I think you saw it on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I watched it on Christmas Day as well. Yes.
And thoughts?
Yeah, thoughts. I didn't really enjoy it. Like,
yeah.
I liked the first movie, and I thought it was going to build a little bit more on Wonder Woman and kind of her past and the kind of the Amazonians and all that kind of stuff. And I could see where it took a play from like the 80s retro. They wanted to kind of make it feel like tonal wise. They wanted to make it feel like an 80s like Wonder Woman, maybe TV show or something like that. But I think it kind of missed for me personally.
Yeah.
Having that kind of feel for the movie where I was kind of used to, like, if anything, the first Wonder Woman movie, and I'm not saying it has to be the first one, but yeah, it was just like such a huge change in tone. And we've seen it like in the MCU with like Thor Ragnarok, and having different directors kind of take the helm and have their kind of vision for the character. But,
right.
Yeah, it just felt kind of jarring and almost cartoonish, and it's still a comic book movie at heart, and it can feel that way sometimes too. But yeah, it just didn't hit for me on this one.
Yeah.
And I could see the Wonder Woman, especially during this time, is one can be such an inspirational character for a lot of people. It has Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot. Her.
Who knows?
Who knows how she pronounced it? I'm so sorry. But yeah, she's the kind of the new face of Wonder Woman, and I feel like she's kind of, especially from like the last film and some of the other DC movies, she's kind of earned I guess that title for Wonder Woman with a lot of people. So I was a little disappointed. So I don't know. I actually watched another movie on Christmas Day, Soul by Pixar,
Oh
I haven't watched
yeah.
Soul yet. How is
and
that?
and it was obviously they're two completely different movies, but I enjoyed Soul. It was such a again I couldn't expect more from Pixar as far as delivering such a great story, and it's so personal, and you can really within those few hours get the gist of what that character is and who the person is. So again, two different movies, but drastically different as far as how I enjoyed them, and how I kind of liked them in the end. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I've heard good things about Soul.
yeah,
I really
you guys
want
should
to. I want to see
definitely watch
it. It's hard gearing up for a Pixar movie. I know I'm gonna cry.
Exactly. It's gonna
Yeah,
be so emotionally draining. I still
yeah.
haven't seen Coco because I'm like, I
Oh
don't,
Oh
man.
man,
I can't.
yeah.
Like I'm Latina, I can't. Like my grandma's going through it right now. Like I just can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah. That's that's a tough one. That was a very tough one. Wonder Woman, for me, that I've seen a lot of comparisons to Batman Forever, which I yes, that's there.
Yes.
Tonally, it's there. And then someone made a really great point that it's basically Batman Returns. Um,
Ooh, okay.
how what's her face, Kristen Wiig is basically Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. How she comes back from the dead and kind of,
Yeah.
there's a lot of weird kind of parallels in there. But it was. I fell asleep.
You did. But to be fair, like the ending was ridiculous. I
Yeah,
summarized it for you at the end, and I was just like, well, Pedro Pascal was yelling, and then everyone like said agreed for some reason. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
yeah.
wild.
I mean, I guess with spoiler warning for anyone who's
Spoilers,
listening.
Yeah.
yes.
I was trying to be big.
Yeah, the listening. The wishing stone plot was it made sense like when they introduced it, and but as it kind of continued on, I was like, man, this is getting like, anyone can wish for anything. Like I think it came to the point where Pedro Pascal's character became like the wishing stone, right? And he was able to kind of grant people's wishes. Yeah, it got a little too crazy there because I was like, well, man, anyone can kind of just like wish for whatever, and what if you wanted
Yeah.
to wish for like world peace or something? I don't know.
I find it
Exactly.
interesting that
Yeah.
no one asked for like a wish for either the prequels or the sequel trilogy, because in 1984, like Star Wars wrapped up the year before, and if I were like a 12-year-old in 1984, I'd be wishing that'd be my major wish.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they did.
What?
I mean, you don't know that, and that's the only wish
Could have
that
happened
kept.
off screen.
Sorry, I want good prequels, and then R.I.P.
Yeah.
Just kidding. The prequels are my shit. I don't know why I'm bashing on them. I love Revenge of the Sith.
I'll take the prequels over the sequels.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
prequels
another.
or
Well,
sequels.
shoot, you finally saw Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. It was awful. Like I
Oh,
love
man.
Oscar Isaac. That's it. Adam Driver on like specific rainy days, like NYC Adam Driver really gets me. And
Ooh.
to be fair, I guess I haven't seen much of him otherwise, but yeah, it was not good.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting much, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, we just finished Mandalorian, which is
Ooh, cool.
Did you finish season 2?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay.
cool.
So we
Yes.
can talk then. Spoiler, folks, imaginary audience out there. Well, first, okay, let's the second season felt very much like who's gonna pop up this week, folks. Like I
Yeah.
didn't care about the Mandalorian. I cared about like who was he gonna interact with,
Mhm.
starting especially with Ahsoka, which was Rosario Dawson. Am I saying it right? You're looking at me funny, like am I saying it wrong?
Oh, I was burping because of my
Oh,
kombucha.
wonderful, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought the Ahsoka stuff was excellent, especially her dual lightsabers was very cool. We got the return of Boba Fett, even though they fucked up the color of his armor.
Yeah, I did look.
I mean,
a little
Like, how do you fuck that up, Disney?
I mean, the Sarlacc pit. I mean, maybe he got some like juices on there.
Well, no, but like it was all like kind of
Dissolved.
scraped off and stuff, and then he comes out with it repainted, but they repainted it wrong.
You know,
Yeah.
new brand. The CIA can do it, so can Boba Fett.
This is true.
Yeah, I just like I pictured him having like a little like a little tin of his like paint, and he was just on the
Right,
ship real
just
quick, yeah, doing his thing or whatever. But
because he does kind of look like Pablo Picasso.
a little
What
bit.
are you doing on the table? What are you doing on the table?
He's like, why is no one paying attention to me? I've never
Aw.
seen him on the table before.
All right, this dude wants to hang out, so we're
Yeah.
gonna let him
Yeah,
hang
it's
out.
all good.
Um,
My cats just crawl over the place anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah. Animal Kingdom.
and
So,
then
yeah.
finally
Yeah.
in the last episode we get let me set the stage for you, my viewing experience. Okay. I'm watching it. I'm not that into it. I'm getting more into it. I'm kind of like, okay, what's up? And then right before the big special guest appears,
Mhm.
you FaceTimed me. And so we're talking back and forth, blah, 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 half hour. And then I'm like, all right, I'll just, as I'm turning Disney back on, I'll check through Instagram. And the first thing I see is Mark Hamill posted his tweet on Instagram saying, "Seen anything good on TV lately?" And I went, "Huh, fuck." You know, so the
Yeah.
X-Wing comes in. I'm like, I know who it is. And then the black cloak, and I'm like, it could have been someone else, but you know who it is.
The
And,
lightsaber comes out. You know
oh, it
who
was
it
beautiful. It was, I mean, it was great. It's been compared to the Darth Vader scene in Rogue One,
Yeah,
which
I've heard
very
that too.
much
Yeah.
kind of like that. Um, and I like that Luke is fighting robots because he's still technically a pacifist
Oh,
on
fair.
film. That was my big. That's why I liked Last Jedi. Right, is because at the end of Return of the Jedi, he doesn't strike the Emperor down. He throws his lightsaber away.
Away, right?
Right? He's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give in. And from then on, in my mind, he's become a pacifist. And then it's even cemented in The Last Jedi in the fact that he doesn't fight Kylo Ren. He projects. He maintains his pacifisticity, right? So yeah, him not killing any actual people, I was very pleased with. I thought that was very nice.
Ooh.
How Batman of you.
Yeah,
I don't want
detail
my
of
heroes to
detail,
kill.
Yeah.
I don't think
very
heroes
true.
should kill. Unless they're like knights or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, and then we get the big reveal. It's Luke, and it barely looks like Hamill. I mean, at first it does, and then, are you a Jedi? I'm. Just the bottom of the mouth moved, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? You sunk that much money, and someone on Instagram is going to do it 10 times better than you did in 3 hours? Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's very true. Like, do a deep fake.
do
at
a
least.
deep
You know, like
That's been the
TikTok
topic
is
with, I think I saw a deep fake of that particular scene. And then yesterday, I was just like browsing through YouTube, and I don't know if you guys have seen like the whole thing about like people pledging for Sebastian Stan to be
yeah.
Young.
Luke Skywalker. And
Yeah.
some person did a deep fake of Sebastian Stan on like some of the Mark Hamill like Luke scenes from the like the original trilogy and everything. And
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy scary how like
He looks really good.
close his features are. And I thought that was the weakest link in that episode for sure.
But then you got R2.
I know that was like
that was
such a good moment.
That just kind of makes your heart kind of.
And it's like
giddy.
Archie's the perfect like bridged character, especially for Grogu and Baby Yoda or whatever.
Grogu.
Like,
Excuse me, Baby Yoda.
baby Yoda. I think R2 was like the perfect, like that was like the perfect moment to kind of get that character, especially this is the moment where they're gonna probably separate, and man, that was such a beautiful moment too.
I was so happy to. Oh, go for it.
I was supposed to say, I was like, there's got to be, if he's gonna like separate from him anytime in the series, they're gonna have to have this moment where he takes off his helmet and shows his face. So I was kind of like hoping that would happen, and we got that nice little moment. I do wish there was a little bit more to the Mandalorian character, and Baby Yoda. I thought their journey was going to kind of continue more, and I'm not really sure if the future of the series, if they're ever going to kind of come back and somehow do stuff together. But it was a good moment. I really like that moment at the end.
There is no Mandalorian without Baby Yoda.
And
Like that's
you're
the
right.
only reason why I watched that show is because we were watching it and I just don't like. I love Pedro Pascal, cool, but whenever that little guy is on the screen, please tell me because there is so much joy and serotonin in every single like image of him just like sitting and eating and just staring. It's
You're so right. My roommate, like she's not a Star Wars fan, but she watches the show because of them two, and especially Grogu. Like he's definitely gathered a lot of people back into kind of like Star Wars fandom, and yeah, they kind of got that down. So it was a very bold move, I think, to separate them and kind of end, I guess, their arc in a way, that last episode. So it's definitely sad, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with the Star Wars TV shows, and honestly, I think it works as far as Star Wars being a series and just different kind of episodic episodes.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you've heard this rumor, and I did you see the stinger scene at the end?
Yes.
So Boba Fett with, I forget the name of his female accompaniment. They come into Jabba's palace. It's weirdly empty. Bib Fortuna is sitting on the throne, and he's fat now. So apparently, you get fat when you sit there.
a ruler, a king,
Baratheon. Yeah, I
he's
guess
no longer a server, he's no,
Jabba no Wanka. Yeah. So Boba kills him and then takes the throne. Is he gonna get fat now? Is he gonna get all?
I hope not.
He's
layered?
old, so it must be like it's easier to get fat.
It's easier.
We can go into the politics of how easy it is to get fat once you're rich, but we'll be here since 2022. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So the rumor is that the show is going to continue in the Book of Boba Fett. That'll go for a year, and we're not going to get another season of Mandalorian for another 2 years or something like that.
Dang,
which I could totally see happening, because he really, especially this season, was the least interesting part of the entire thing. Like Bill Burr in one episode is infinitely more interesting than Mando or Mondo or whatever. I will say though, when we saw R2, it only highlighted for me how badly they fucked him over in the sequels.
Yeah,
like you don't get. Sure. You get one beautiful moment with R2 and Luke in the sequel trilogy, and that's his only memorable moment in the sequel trilogy. The first movie he spends kind of like Luke, just in a corner gathering dust. The second one, he's on the Millennium Falcon, and you see him for that like one pivotal scene. Do you even see him in Revenge or Rise of Skywalker?
Ooh,
I think like
I don't even remember. He gives 3PO his memories back. That's like his only thing. 3PO gets a good line.
Because 3PO's the best part of that movie.
He is. I genuinely laugh with 3PO, and I try not to because that actor is such a dick. Anthony Daniels is such a piece of shit. Anyway, Mandalorian.
I enjoyed it. It's
the best thing Disney Star Wars has.
Yeah, I think so. And I guess I am. At least happy that it's gathered some more Star Wars fans and maybe people on board because those last 3 movies were, I remember when we went to go see Force Awakens, and I think
that was a great time.
We both enjoyed the movie, and it was great to see kind of Star Wars back in everyone's kind of minds. But yeah, I don't know. I think Mandalorian, they're doing something really interesting and special there with Star Wars, and I would love to see, and this is what I hope. I know they're doing more spin-off shows from there with Ahsoka, and I definitely. It works as far as like a TV series and the kind of format, and it's nothing too complicated. I would say with the that's I think a lot of people compare it to like old Western movies or kind of
there's nothing like deep going on. You know what I mean? Like it's a very like,
which I'm totally fine with. Like
same.
Some shows can be like that, right? Where it's just like just a lot of stuff thrown at you, and then some shows are just like strictly straightforward. where
It's Favreau and Filoni with their action figures just going, and I'm
exactly.
like, that's great. That's
It's
all
yeah,
Yeah.
it's enjoyable, and I'm super down for more. And hopefully they expand a little bit more in the universe and maybe give us some stuff outside of what some of the characters are kind of used to. And some of that was happening in Mandalorian with some of these new characters and different, and also going into older like the Sand People or the
Tusken Raiders, watch your tongue.
Tusken Raiders. Sorry,
They're sand people.
but like that, like that.
Yikes.
Like expanding on the world a little bit. So, yeah, Mandalorian.
Yeah. Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Yes, real quick side kind of thing, because we do have like one more movie to talk about. But keeping in theme with Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order. Have you played this?
Oh yeah, dude. You like it?
I just got it.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's awesome, yeah.
It's actually, I like it better than The Mandalorian.
It's
like, I think it's the best thing to come out of Star Wars since the Disney purchase.
The story with the story and everything is very interesting, and I like how they kind of go back to that like set of Force users, like kind of the background behind like Order 66 or whatever it's called, and yeah, it's a cool game. I cannot wait for like more Star Wars games like that where you're obviously put in the shoes of a Jedi, and kind of trying to discover what your role as someone who's a Jedi in training, and visually it looked great. I actually really like the mechanics and everything of the game, so
yeah,
I'm glad you picked that up. Yeah, it's a cool game.
Yeah. Did you finish it?
I did not beat it. I remember I probably got probably like 80%. I don't know why I beat it.
You do that with every game that you play. You're like, I got like 70,
yeah.
80%. Like, I just finish it.
I'm guilty of that too. It's like what I did with 30 Rock. I finished all seasons except for the last one. I was like, I have some of it left.
Yeah,
you cherish it a little.
One. Yeah, I have that with a few TV shows and games.
It's hard to beat
I have that with Scorsese. There's like 3 or 4 of his movies I've kept myself from watching.
I mean, with Breath of the Wild, Zelda is like that's my shit. I love Zelda, but I haven't beat Ganon in Breath of the Wild, because it's like apparently it's one of the easier ones. Yeah. Exactly. I'm not. So yeah, cherish the ends. It's good.
Yeah, for sure. And,
absolutely.
I mean, I would love to finish, that Star Wars game. And I'm actually really excited to see. There was all these like rumors going around, like, oh, they could possibly like bring, since these games are like canon with like Star Wars, they could possibly bring these characters into their TV shows. And I would be super down to see, like, is it Cal? His name is the main
Cal Ripken Jr. Yeah.
Yeah. Which that guy's a real actor too, which is insane. So they could like bring that dude on to play it, but it's cool. I like how they're using the games. I think they did it with Battlefront 2, I think, with their campaign.
Is the guy who plays Cal, is he the guy who plays the Joker character in the Gotham TV show?
Yes.
Wow.
And he's in
okay.
Shameless, I believe. I think is the other TV
Gotcha.
show.
Okay. He's a good actor. He's a very good actor.
I call him Archie. That's he's redhead. It's Archie from Riverdale or the comics.
They could. That's a possibility. They could do it if they had a chance. And yeah, I like how the games are kind of adding more to the canon, and I think that's it's super cool. And I hope they do more games with Star Wars where they can kind of expand a little bit more on the universe as like the shows come out or the movies. But I'm glad you're playing that, dude. That's cool.
Yeah, it's very good. I'm playing that, and got Miles Morales for Christmas.
Man, yeah. You know what? That's like my next one I want to get into.
It's good. It's very good.
Very good.
I thoroughly enjoyed the PS4 Spider-Man. Like from was that last year? That was last
2 years ago.
2 years ago, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's really interesting how like they basically copied and pasted the game a little, except with a little bit more on top. The entire Miles Morales storyline is new, and it makes sense how they can have such a deep world with like it was made in like 2 years or something.
Yeah, there's a couple new like combat things. There's a couple new things on the menu, like you can like kind of upgrade certain things where you couldn't before.
And
So
they have
there's
more of New York.
you little like one more neighborhood or
Yeah,
something like that.
Harlem.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it from a game design perspective, it's like, oh, like this is why you have an awesome AAA title very, very quickly, like at the fastest
Oh,
turnaround I've ever seen.
yeah.
It's just like content, assets, all of it's the same.
That's
But it's
awesome.
so fun. The animations
Yeah.
are way more intense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm curious. I know it's like, I don't know if I'm gonna ever get like a next gen anytime soon, but I have seen like footage of the next gen stuff, and it looks crazy on the. I mean, it looks really good on some of the next gen consoles like the PS5 and the like ray
I'd
trace
love to see this
lighting.
game in 4K.
Oh, dude, I
Mm-hmm.
know. Seriously, man.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I kind of want to pick that up too. The last game I played, I'm still playing, is Cyberpunk 2077, which I think
Just
we talked about this. I think when
We
I saw
did.
you
In
guys.
person, yes.
Oh my god, dude! It's you just type Cyberpunk 2077 in Google, and you'll just see like a crap ton of just negative controversy
it's
with this company,
like
man.
been in my Google News.
It's
I'm like, why am I
insane.
reading about 20? Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's insane,
Yeah.
dude. And it's a shame because I really like playing the game, and I'm still playing it. It's one of those like diamond in the rough kind of situations where I think they had at one point, I think, maybe even last year or 2 years ago, they had like this game, and it just got like chipped to shit pretty much. Like stuff got cut out.
Yeah.
And then it was just like a very messy launch, which I think will set the precedent, I think, for future gaming companies and how launches are supposed to be expected for games. So it was quite a stir up, I would say, for for this game.
Definitely.
But the weird thing is, I'm really enjoying playing it. So it's like it's this weird like,
Hell yeah.
I'm so angry, and like this is kind of shady with like the company. And I can't blame anyone, particularly for it, but a lot of the talk is, some of the pretty much the higher ups and the CEOs kind of made, obviously the people pulling the trigger on releasing the game, that was kind of them to blame, and not the people creating the game, the devs and like people who are designing the levels and everything like that. So it's a tricky time for games for sure, especially that company. So I'm gonna be fully reporting back to you guys on my experiences. There's a few patches that are gonna be releasing over the next few months, and it's one of those like, will this game finally like be what it was when it was promised, like released? And I guess now the expectation for gaming companies and like what the consumers are expecting too. You could have missing features and stuff, but man, when I downloaded this game on the launch day, like midnight of the the night before, dude, it was like the buggiest, like the most like the textures weren't loading. It was so bad, dude.
Ship it. That's the mentality.
And that's the thing, and that's the biggest thing with this, and that's why I've been so like pulled into this like this game, and I enjoy it, but also like just all the stuff around it is just like insane.
Yeah.
So and I know Alisia, you do, you're into game design too as well, and you probably have a understanding of like how some of these things work and how game studios
Well,
operate
I
or
was at
whatever.
E3. Like what year was that? I don't know. A couple years ago, I was at E3, and I remember seeing the initial Cyberpunk booth, which was huge, and it was so much press. Everyone was pumped for it.
Making a splash.
Yeah, and I think it kind of suffered the same fate as No Man's Sky, where it's just everyone's hyped. Like the guy for No Man's Sky, he was on Colbert. Like, when is a game designer ever on mainstream media? So I think Cyberpunk, except like, I mean, they did Witcher, CD Projekt Red, right? I know, yeah. So they had the hype, but
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is there.
Yeah.
True, they did have Keanu.
Yeah.
But every single thing was set up for disaster. The people actually doing the work didn't really have a say in anything. So now they're in deep shit because, surprise, listen to the people that make your features, and this is why you need producers and blah blah. And these poor people are being worked to death, like constantly. Not basically to death.
To mental breakdown.
Never been able to recover. Exactly.
Yeah.
At least without a year of solace.
It just like it surprises me so much that like, and you know, I don't know if I'm sure I can't make comparisons with the gaming industry and like movie industries or music or whatever, but yeah, like, you know, I I I think the bar is always set as far as like what gamers are expecting, you know, for sure. But you know, I think that transparency and just being like, this is what the game is. You know, I don't know why it's still a topic of like today of like, yeah, we can't just be real with the game that we're delivering and what we're gonna be, what you guys are buying, pretty much. It still like fascinates me why it's still like an issue and why a gaming company like this just
French.
made the wrong move. Yeah.
I
So
feel like it happens in so many things. Like even I feel like that was the case for the last season of Game of Thrones. You know, it's just like we just need to shit
yeah,
this out. Like just
yeah,
get it done because this is what we
money and
promised.
timing and all that kind of
Money,
stuff, right?
time, everything.
Yeah,
You know, everything's now just like about one thing, which is just like get the product out. And it's like, okay, can we change the culture a
Yeah.
little? Because I would
yeah,
like some good media to consume,
exactly.
rather
And you
than
know,
it faster.
and we have the ability to somewhat push back, you know, and we, you know, there's a lot of people have like talked about, you know, the game and like, yeah, people are mad
We've
right now.
changed Sonic. Like we can
Yeah,
change. Like we can change
we've been able
anything.
to change songs, man. So
I blame Netflix.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I
I
think it's
blame
all
Netflix.
at the.
Yeah,
I think Netflix is at the root of all this. They've given people, you know,
Pass.
here's all of it, all at once. Here's, you know, consume, 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 and you know, I think that's kind of led to this culture of we just need more and more and more. It's quality over quantity at this point, and we're talking video games, we're talking things that you stream, we're talking everything.
Amazon. Like we're literally
Yeah,
talking everything.
yeah.
Everything
yeah,
is
2 day
immediate.
delivery. You know,
Yeah.
like it's, you know, you used to send for something in the mail, and you're like, I'll forget that I ordered it before it gets here. You know what I mean? Like it'll be months.
yeah.
Oh shit, this thing. Way right on. Um, it's yeah, wow.
It's wild. So
Yeah.
I will keep you guys posted on the cyberpunk madness.
Please. You're the only
But
person I know who actually plays it. So
yeah, you know what? I am sure Joey could call me this. I'm pretty optimistic when it comes to like stuff like that. But like
For
Life.
everything. Yeah.
I was really pissed off when I downloaded that game. Like my,
You break a controller.
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. But I was sitting in front of my TV like, what the fuck is this? Like seriously. So
A center for ants.
center for ants. So there's only one way to this is gonna happen. They're gonna have to fix this thing and give us free DLC like all year long. So in order for anyone to come back and start playing that game again, but
which is so sad because it's just like the developers making it are building DLC when they could have just been making the game. You know, it's just whatever. I could speak about this for hours. You guys gamers.
And so that's the thing, and that's the thing too. It's like it's interesting to have you on the show too, because you know, coming from someone who designs games and you know, kind of getting to know that world. Like, yeah, it's I know stuff gets cut and you know things kind of move around.
Yeah.
But,
I do more than design. I have a game company, a game company. It's
go,
like 10 of my friends, but it's just learning how to ship a product is insane because we're getting to the point where it's like, okay, this is our game. And then 3 years later, we're still making the damn game and we don't have about like 50, at least maybe, okay, 50. I would say we have more than that, but we don't have a good chunk of it. And at this, we're just cutting because we want to be done with it, you know, but it's because we're doing it for free. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I want a life. I want other projects, but yeah, games are interesting to make, especially when you don't have time.
yeah, that's a big thing, right? Time for sure.
Time, imagine.
Yeah,
Time.
Time.
Speaking of time, Tenet came out.
Oh,
wow, that was a brilliant segue.
Thank
You're
you for the
welcome.
segue. I love that. Yes.
Honestly.
So, Shawnee, you saw Tenet.
Oh man. Woo. Man, what's up with these movies this year, dude?
What's up with Christopher Nolan, man?
I think like the home experience has transformed how we consume. Like we can pause it and think about how shit it is. We were talking I was talking so much during Tenet. I'd be like, whoa, pause this. What did she just say?
Put on the subtitles.
Like,
we don't need them anymore. Put them back on.
I would be talking so much shit in the theater, and I think that's going to be like a future movie going experience. I mean, living in San Francisco, we already have that. People just yelling. But Tenet, man.
Yeah, I mean, you would think like Inception, right? Like I felt like they did a pretty good job with kind of explaining things. And it's
Explaining the
like,
core concept that, the
Hmm.
average schmo, I like Nolan is great because he doesn't talk down to the audience. He assumes that the audience is smart enough. And he talks about this. He's like, I never want to pander to my audience. I assume that I can talk to them as an equal. But here's the thing. In the last few years, he's, I want to say, if not the highest paid director, one of the highest paid directors. He has absolutely the most power of any director in modern cinema, next to Steven Spielberg. Um, so he has time to, because he is a very nerdy, geeky guy when it comes to this science stuff. Like, he gets kind of caught on these concepts, Interstellar, the wormholes, the dream within a dream stuff, and Inception, and now this. So he has time to kind of absorb and speak with the scientists and understand on a level that his audience never could or would care to. And I think he's forgetting, there's that gap there.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he's not thinking about us anymore. He's like, no, they'll get it. And it's like, no, we don't have time to do this. You know what I mean? You do.
yeah.
I got
You
it.
spent a year with quantum physics.
Okay, no, I spent a summer very into the idea of quantum physics, so I know the two slit blind, double blind. I don't know. I lost my memory.
Yeah.
But time, it makes sense. Forward, backwards, easy.
To someone that's never thought about that concept or heard of that specific concept, he to me, it's still intangible. Like, I just see them running backwards and it looks silly to me. Like, I still don't get it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the I had to watch
you
an
feel
explainer
very dumb
video.
watching it.
No, honestly, I had to watch one of those like reaction explainer videos after because
Yeah.
I did not get what was happening, and if I watch the movie again, yeah, I could probably figure it out. And I've
By the
watched.
end, I got it. I got what he was going for. Spoilers when, like, Pat sees John David Washington, lets him escape. I'm like, oh, I see, the movie's closing in on itself.
Yeah.
But I still didn't understand the concept of the science behind it and how we got there. Like,
Yeah.
I understood from a story perspective where we were going, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the girl that she saw in the beginning is the one jumping off the boat. I like, okay. But I, again, didn't understand.
It's just
Yeah.
portals, just time portals. Like,
Time
what do you like? I don't.
So they build a portal like a Costco that they just come and go
Well,
out
I
of
mean,
it.
imagine like there's parts of the world that have significant amounts of energy in them. So you just have to assume this is a world that has like time energy. Like it's the entire world doesn't make sense. Like you kind of have to. I mean, okay, to be fair, I thought I understood Inception. I think it was you actually, where I was just like, yeah, I understood Inception like my first time, and you're like, oh, so what happened with this, and this, and I'm like, well, damn, I didn't think about it that hard.
I've only seen Inception once.
I've seen Inception 32 times, and like 8 of them were in theaters.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a phase.
Yeah.
It's not a phase.
I mean, I have to agree with Joey. There's like, it's almost like, okay, I understand this concept. Like when they do the scene where he's like catching the bullet, right? Or don't shoot a bullet, catch a bullet. I was like, okay, like that makes sense to me. Like, I get that. And then it's like, but I don't know, that concept. It's just so. And I've
It's
seen
a lot to do with intent. Like
But,
that's the thing.
How did the bullet
Yeah.
get there? How does, like, it just stay there, and then when they want to see it go backwards,
Intent.
what?
Because like once you know that you're going to drop it even once you've made that decision, it like that's when it happens. It's like
Okay.
anyway.
That's where I think the movie gets a little messy with that. Like even as simple as that concept is, or in that moment when they're trying to explain that to you, like yeah, there's like little gaps where it just kind of like, what's happening?
They
was never
literally had a
explained.
scientist woman who was there solely to tell you how the concept worked, and she said, "Don't think about it."
Yeah, you're right.
Fuck.
Just catch those bullets.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I think it needed that, and just needed that, just a little more of that explanation, and maybe kind of guiding us a little throughout the movie. Like there was that kind of first act where he's just starting to kind of get, oh, this is what this is, and the whole Tenet initiative or whatever it's called. That like, okay, they're kind of still guiding you along, and you sometimes I feel like maybe we just don't catch on that much, or maybe everyone going to a movie like that's going to be in a different kind of like headspace, and I think for me I needed that guide. I've seen like some crazy in the last like year or two. I've seen some crazy like quantum physics, the grandfather paradox and all that kind of crazy stuff. So I was open to like what was going to be shown to me, but it just, for me personally, I got kind of lost because it just wasn't, it didn't still guide me through that concept throughout the movie. And then I just kind of like, whoa, now they're in this like thing where this portal thing where it reverses time. And then like,
which is fair. Yeah.
So, okay.
They never explained it.
So the whole thing is, what's his name? The protagonist, he created the Tenet initiative or the whole program, right?
Oh, I didn't think that far.
Okay.
I feel like you're getting into like theory type thing, or like I guess
that's what the explainer video I watched was like. Yeah, the whole thing was the protagonist was the one who created this in the get-go, or the program to separate those like artifacts or something that they were like trying to find or whatever, that inverses.
Sean, we can't get into this because I half know what you're talking about, and then the half I'm like, I don't remember anything about that movie except for Robert Pattinson like ziplining.
I just remember his like beige suit
and his wispy hair.
Yeah. That shit's just, when it's like you have to like watch a video and like see this person trying to explain to you like all these concepts of like, this is what Tenet was, and like he set this up and this is like a reverse thing of himself. I'm like, holy shit, like I can't keep up with that. But I don't know, I might give it another go. My roommates haven't seen it yet, and I was like, if I did purchase it, and I have it, I think like the 4K Ultra HD version or whatever. So my roommates want to see it, and when I have like 2.5 hours to spare one of these nights and watch it with them, I might watch it again and kind of see it through a second lens, I would say, right? And
it's always interesting watching like first time viewers too, because it's just like, how
exactly.
are you, like, what do you think? What do you think is happening?
Are you confused or like, and because I feel like most Nolan films, like, I feel like there is a moment where they kind of guide you through what's happening, and then it kind of you kind of take the wheel and then go from there. But I enjoyed it like as just a one-off movie, and you could say a negative would be like, there wasn't too much like character setup.
There was
too much. Yeah.
There was zero character.
Zero, like, and then maybe that's what was my like, oh man, like I'm not as invested in this character too much because like I just don't know what his background is. I don't know who he is. He just kind of somewhat joins this like whole mission. And
people just talk and they say things that they know about that you don't know about, and they go okay, and then they go off to the next place and they get another information dump. Like there was no
and my child, this mother,
the
was
entire
so
world
focused.
will cease to exist, including my son.
That's such a shitty trope. Like mother, child. That's the only thing that binds her.
I was hoping for a little love thing happening with the mom and the protagonist.
Really? You wanted that?
He was totally
between the protagonist and our Pats?
And
because I'd go for that.
Well, because I thought he was totally like interested in her for a little bit, and then he ends up helping her for her son, like, and that becomes kind of the motive for, you don't really know why really, but I guess it's the protagonist's intent of like maybe he's just trying to do the right thing or whatever. But like, that's
like the summary of the movie. You don't know why, but it was the protagonist's intent.
Yeah,
like that's
he just wanted to do it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know.
Tenet.
I don't know what I would rate it. It's it still got me thinking.
Like it was well shot. It was well made.
I think it exists.
It exists.
Like,
That's
it
the yeah.
I nothing Tenet. Like it's gonna be there and it's gonna be part of Nolan's thing and it's gonna do something for him. But I don't care personally.
The way I feel about Tenet, I was having dinner with my folks and your folks one time at Joe's, and Michael Bublé got brought up, and your dad said, "Yeah, I don't mind him," and I was like, "That's the perfect way to just encapture my feelings about I don't mind him. I guess that's how I feel about Tenet. It's there. I don't mind it.
Really, yeah.
Okay.
I
All right.
see Andrew's in the chat right now. Is that Andrew?
Yeah,
do.
Andrew
up,
put a
dude?
banger up.
And-
10 out of 10. Got him.
It's very good.
Get to the list.
We should get to some lists. Yes. All right,
Yeah.
Jonathan. Would you like to go first? Would you like I to go first?
You guys go first. We got a guest on. Let's yeah, you guys go.
All right.
Why not?
Jonathan, it's the new year. It's January 5th. What are your top 5 goals for 2021? What are those resolutions? They don't have to be resolutions. They be goals. They be,
Man, I try to keep to my resolutions, but I feel like it's always ever changing. But I mean, this year, I guess we've had like a whole year, 2020, to kind of reflect and think about stuff in our time. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird because I was struggling to put together a list because it's like I don't know what the future is gonna bring anymore. Like. With
any more you did before, because I want some of that
world,
power,
dude. I just don't know. Like it's with last year being like, well, I'm doing music as my career, and like pretty much the whole industry shut down, and it's like, okay, like I did not anticipate this. Like this, I didn't know this was gonna happen. So I don't know. It puts it into perspective. Like things, you can have a plan and have some goals, and I try to set goals for myself, but. Shit, sometimes you just never know what happens, man, and you gotta have your backup goals or backup things there. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
I'll just say to that, it kind of speaks to, I think, probably maybe my favorite line in all of Star Wars. Yoda says, I think it's a very underrated line. You must unlearn what you have learned.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Ooh.
That's what you got to do.
I didn't mean to laugh. That's a good one.
Jonathan, keep going.
All right, so top 5 2021 goals this year. Yeah, here we go, guys. Number 5, I want to pick up a new hobby. I always tend to do like musical stuff or video games. I guess is my other kind of thing that I do, kind of extracurricular activity or whatever. But yeah, I want to find like a hobby that is a little out of what my comfort zone, or maybe something that is maybe still techie. I would say I like tech stuff, but is again away from kind of the usual music stuff I do. So I have some things here. I put 3D printing. I put interest in 3D printing.
Cool.
One, because I've just seen some really cool stuff people have printed on their 3D printers, and you can make a lot of different things on them. So
I would print action figures all day long.
Dude, for real, I would do the same thing.
That's what I would do.
Print like DeLoreans from for Back to the Future, or like Han Solo's like gun or something. I don't know. So or pistol.
Blaster.
Yeah, blaster. But yeah, there's like a lot of cool stuff you can do, and I don't know what I would do with it necessarily. If it would just be a hobby.
Change the world.
Yeah, change the world.
You can make little trinkets, like here, everyone. Here's a keychain.
I made this for you.
Yeah.
And I love like little knacky things, and like stuff for my keys or whatever.
But you could do a lot of practical applications as well.
Exactly,
right?
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
like doorknobs.
Doorknobs, like little hooks for things, like
hooks, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, 3D printing
for wires.
Kind of thing. So we'll see. And it's fairly like these days it's fairly inexpensive to get like just a starter 3D printer. So
yeah,
I
true.
think it's we're in a good time where stuff like a little more available to do that. So definitely doing that. We'll see.
I like
2021.
It.
Do some 3D printing.
Hell yeah. Love that.
Number 4, I want to travel to the Grand Canyon this year.
Yeah?
Ooh.
Yes. It is
right
7
on.
hours away from where I am right now, which is not that far.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. That's a day trip.
That's a day trip, dude.
Yo.
You know what? You should come with. Travel down.
I'll come with you to the Grand
Canyon.
Canyon. Can we ride a donkey? Can we ride a fucking donkey?
They do that.
Man.
Down to the bottom.
Do I get to name the donkey?
They won't take it officially, I'm sure, but you can officially think that.
Okay.
in your
Well,
heart.
in my head canon, um,
And the
a
I
MCU.
cartoon.
I just think it'd be super cool. It'd be a quick. I mean, it could be like a weekend trip, like maybe stay a night or two, and then yeah. I mean, one thing I should be doing more often is get outside and explore. And with the travel restrictions and stuff currently, it is a little tough to get out of the country or a little bit farther out of California. So, I think trying to go to places that are local or easy to get to, and especially living in California, being so close to to get
So much. Yeah.
yeah, there's so much to see
Like
out
Joshua
here.
Tree's right next to you. Like I've heard
Exactly.
great things.
Yeah. And that too. I definitely want to go to Joshua Tree as well this year. So I think more kind of like on the road traveling, I think would be kind of the goal. One
Hell
to
yeah.
traveling, I feel definitely gives you a lot of perspective. I feel it cleanses you in a way. It gives you kind of new
Oh.
life and whatnot. But yeah, Grand Canyon, guys, for number 4.
Love that.
Let's see. Number 3, I've been doing submitting music for TV pitches and TV placements for sync licensing, as they say.
Hell yeah.
So I want to make that a bigger goal this year and do more of that and create music for TV shows. Currently, I'm trying to do stuff in China right now through another colleague I'm working with, but definitely want to do some stuff here in the U.S. and get.
So
some
how does that
music.
work, like with communism?
I don't know.
Like getting paid?
I don't know.
Like I can't wrap my head around that. Like how can you be communist but also have a currency?
They have money, Joe.
But I don't understand it. Like, doesn't that defy the purpose or defy the concept of communism? Anyway, that's not important. I'm very excited for you. You got one this year, right? You got one on.
I got one this year, which is super cool, and hopefully, many more to come. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, number 3, TV placements. Number 2, if we can travel, hopefully. This will be something we can do when COVID is hopefully clear of our world. I would love to travel back to Europe and see my grandparents and my grandma and my family. Yeah, wanted to go back to England, go back to France, visit some places out there. Maybe go back to Amsterdam because it was pretty wild and crazy over there.
Wild.
Yeah. So I think, traveling and just doing, more. I really, that was kind of the last kind of big trip I think of last year, and Joey and I, we had a great time, and I definitely want to make it back there, and obviously it's we've been restricted to not travel right now, so I can't just like kind of get up and go anywhere. So, but yeah, a nice little trip to Europe would be great, and maybe doing a little more traveling around Europe would be a cool little goal. So. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Very nice.
And then number 1, dude, it's the most obvious one. Release original music through Blind Issues. I have some music I would like to release by myself and my other group, the Sonic Riders. Just a lot of music that has been brewing, I would say, the last few months, and and then many more to come, hopefully, for the year. But I am really excited. I'm really happy that Blind Issues, our band, is kind of getting back together. We're working on some songs, and we're planning out this kind of like 2-parter single. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of a cool year. I definitely this might be another goal, and we've talked about this, is printing our album, our singles on vinyl as well, which is super cool.
Hell yeah.
We could do the single on a 45. That'd be a lot of fun.
That would totally work, dude. So
just
I don't know,
fling it at people.
It'd be so cool just to have it, and I think I mean, it's great. We're so many years later, still trying to work on music and really do that. So it's definitely been really cool to like get back together and write those songs. And yeah, I feel like this is kind of the revival of Blind Issues coming back, and I feel like we have a lot of cool ideas too. So it's like, man, I'm ready to put it out there. Yeah, there you go.
Me too,
That's my
man.
5, guys.
I love it. I love
nice
it.
And easy.
It's a very good 5. Would you like to go next?
I have no idea how this goes.
So we start at 5. We work our way to 1. 1 is your favorite.
I knew how it go. I knew how it go. Okay, so 5, so I feel like my list is very different. I feel like you had very concrete goals. Like mine are vague and abstract. So
It's
I'm
cool.
definitely gonna get it done.
Yeah, no worries.
So for number 5, I want to learn and absorb more content. I
Ah.
got me and Joey a masterclass thing
Ooh,
for
cool.
Christmas, and it's been
It's
awesome.
very cool.
I watched I don't know, Annie Leibovitz and Ron Finley taught me gardening, and
Hans
Ooh.
Zimmer gives
Hans.
a crazy, he's like, like, I can't
Yeah, I
do
do.
this.
But like, it was amazing. He was hilarious, and he was just like, "Yeah, Chris just wants this thing," and it's just like, okay.
Well, like for Interstellar, he told me it was just a story about a father and a daughter.
Yeah,
Nothing else. He didn't tell
Wow.
me about like the space or,
it's good.
I don't know. It's very cool. And like the way he approaches music with like from such a perspective, from such a like
Music perspective.
not just a music perspective, but like, okay, if this is the theme, how does this make me feel? Okay, this is what I'm going to go for. And you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
that is so incredibly simple, and it makes so much sense. But you would, you know, a layperson would overthink it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Those are principles for game design too. I feel
I
like.
think it's principle
Yeah,
for
yeah.
anything.
For
You
most,
always want to
you
go
make
as
you
simple as
feel
possible.
emotions. Yeah,
Got
Yeah.
exactly.
you.
Yeah. So
That's super
masterclass has
cool.
been. I would honestly, I was saw it and I'm like, no. But then
Yo,
I got it. I was like, oh my God. Like
I
Samuel L.
feel
Jackson
like
could teach me acting. Like, I'm not gonna, but that'd be cool.
you guys might be my convincer because I've been getting that trailer commercial every
Email
single
me.
video.
I have a referral so I can get you like money off. So don't
Oh,
buy it without me.
got you.
Or
Okay.
do, I don't care. I mean, maybe it, whatever. We'll keep in touch. Yeah, so that's number 5. Well, so also there's plenty of talks and like conferences that I like GDC, which is a game developers content or conference. I don't know why I'm pumping my game designer thing so much.
It's
Like I'm
cool.
not just a game designer. I'm mostly a VR designer. Like that's my thing. I don't really work on games. I do VR mostly. So any like
Is VR not games?
it's experiences. Potentially. Come on, you know this. As all good content is are experiences. So like there's lots of good games and VR conferences and talks that I really want to see, and people that I know and admire on Twitter like constantly post these things. So I just
That's
want to
awesome.
absorb it all and learn. um Number 4, it's eat good. And this is like in the healthy sense and also in the like plentiful sense. Like
Yes.
it's just like make good things. I've been trying to cook a lot more. I got salt, acid, fat, heat, and it's transformed my life. And
Whoa.
every time I make any single tiny dish, I'm like, do you taste the salt? And you're like, what? Like I'm like,
Cool.
does it need more fat? Like we made sauce for Christmas for some folks, and the entire time it was just a ingredient balance beam. And
Cool.
so anyway, so eat good, eat healthy, but also fun, good stuff. Number 3 is like get some strength and do more yoga. Before the lockdown started, I was going to a yoga studio like consistently. It wasn't sustainable because I would go like 3 times a week, but I would like get to work at 11 and leave at 3 to make my 4 p.m. yoga class. So it's like thank God the lockdown hit because I would have gotten fired. But it worked really. So now it's like I have so much time to do it. It's annoying with a roommate, and like being at home, it's like before it was a community, and now it's anyway. I'm like hippy dippy drinking my kombucha and talking about yoga, wearing my UC Santa Cruz
It's all good.
shirt.
It's all good. All the signs are
But
pointing. It's
yeah,
all good.
honestly. So and yeah, I just want to like have good posture. Like I've always been kind of craving that. Yeah, exactly. We're hunched over
I
uh,
know. I gotta get a new chair,
Quasimodo.
man.
So yeah, exactly. Like I just upgraded my desktop setup. So my 2 fat ass monitors, and I'm getting new monitors arms, and like they're individual arms because they're so big. And
Whoa.
gamer news. God. Oh no, sorry. So and this is completely contradictory to my number 2, which is I want to have less screens in my life. Like I want less screen time, just being off my phone and like tech less.
Yes.
I which is also funny because I, in my strength goal, I wanted to buy Fitness Plus from Apple because I have the Apple Watch.
I
I've
see.
had it off since March of last year because I didn't want my watch to tell me how lazy I was being because we were quarantined, Siri. Like I'm very busy right now.
Makes sense. Makes
So
sense. Yeah.
yeah, so less screens, less more or less tech, and we've been reading a lot lately, so that's been nice.
That's
Reading
good.
about Zodiac, or reading Zodiac, which is like I haven't had dreams about murder yet, which is I'm surprised because usually I dream everything I absorb anyway. um and yeah, do I keep going? No one's stopping me.
Please.
My last and
No.
final, I've been working on this lovely VR game for the past 3 years. It's titled Lift: The Last Days of the Westwood. It's a
Ooh.
VR interactive narrative game where you play as an elevator operator of a hotel, and people come in and you interact with them, and you can change the outcome of the story.
Ooh.
So
That
yeah,
sounds
it's a
so interesting.
Thank you. Thank you. It started off
Cool.
as my senior project for school. So the same team, we've all like 10 of us with the loser gain a few. Um, yeah, we've been working on it for the past 3 years. And fuck, it's hard. Like no one tells you, I mean, yeah, no one tells you that having a job on top of your normal day job is hard. Like you're constantly working, you're constantly just like being strung out. And so yeah, so hopefully since 2018 we've said like Lift 2018, we're publishing it and it's about to be 2021, and so like god damn it, I want to publish this game this year.
Yeah.
But so as I mentioned earlier, we're putting a bunch of things on the chopping block, so hopefully it'll come out, games change along the
Yeah.
way.
I
Let's not kill game developers.
No,
That's my
I think
stance.
that's super exciting. I've been able to play a few VR games. My roommate had the Quest, the Oculus Quest,
Yes.
the first version or whatever of it, and he had me try it, and it was so much fun, and you know, I could see where VR can go in the next few years, and especially the new Quest came out, and some of these, the way you're able to kind of the resolution and the way you're able to see through
Yeah. 4K
the
baby.
lenses now are just, and it's getting really good. So and
It's
then the
been
amount,
a crazy 5 years, like the
yeah,
comparison of
because you guys are
the
probably
tech.
getting all the new, all the different tech that's getting thrown at you guys. But
Yes.
the amount you could probably do with it, and like just hearing that concept of the game you guys are working on just sounds like very interesting. Where it's like this elevator, and there's like these. I don't know why I was thinking like Twilight Zone for some reason, but like I don't know.
No, yeah, there's
I
a
was
bunch of
thinking these.
different vibes. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think that, yeah, that would be a very interesting like exploring or like experience you would get in a VR game, and now
It's
we have
all,
the
yeah.
ability to do
I
it. So
I got to play a version of it. I don't know which version of
Yeah,
it.
you played the college
Well,
version.
you'd dig it. I know that you would dig it.
It's
cool.
thank you. It's really funny how the game has changed. Like when we first made it as like college students, we were like, okay, like this is the boss, and this evil businessman is trying to steal this boss's hotel, and like the tourist is here, and blah 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 blah, and like it was so sweet and fun. And now it's like, like the boss is like this capitalist, like he wants to just kind of get his employees, and he works them to death. And so one of the servers is like complaining to him, and there's a journalist, and you can point people, and people
Oh
die
wow.
now. It's like
Oh
it's like you could tell how much like the world has just like burned us down into the ground.
yeah.
We joke that our first we were trying to make Grand Budapest Hotel, and now we're trying to make Parasite. Just
Oh,
like this, it's just a complete sway of
that's super
class
interesting
dynamics,
though.
really.
And I guess going back to the cyberpunk stuff, and like that is
Mhm.
interesting seeing how like it can change, and especially when you guys have had time with the game, and you can kind of and
Yeah.
then of course your own, I would feel like I guess the same could be said for when I create music, or when we do music and stuff, like yeah, you have that kind of imprint, so you're absorbing a lot of things in your world on a daily, and sometimes that kind of could creep into your work, or be
Yes.
imprinted in your work. So that's very interesting to see that. And honestly, I'm kind of down to save up for like maybe just the Oculus Quest or I don't have a gaming
Yeah,
PC or
no, the
anything, but
Quest
like
2s are around. I would, it sucks because Facebook's dominating the industry. And like, you don't want Zucky being able to look in your house where you have like a 3D, like has 4 cameras doing it, whatever.
man, I didn't even think
I
about
might
that.
apply for a job at Facebook now. So like, I should I mean, like, I'll talk to you about this off camera. But it's, the Quest is definitely the best. You can hook up to your PC. You can do all, yeah. It's a
Yeah,
weird industry, the state we're in.
I'm
Um,
really interested. So that's cool,
yes,
and
I'll let you
hopefully,
know. 2021, it's coming
yeah.
out.
And if you release it, maybe we'll have you back on the show again, and we'll have like a little
Love
themed
that.
show
Thank
on
you,
that or
Sean.
something.
Yeah, elevator top 10 elevator rides. Top, yeah, it's
Oh, I've
different.
had some weird ones.
All right, that's Marty.
Yeah, all right, bud.
That's my 2021 goals.
Wonderful.
Oh,
Wonderful.
thanks, Marty.
Joey, what are your goals for 2021?
2021, no particular order. But we've talked about this. I have a script that I would love to get into production. Obviously, pandemic and shit. But given a chance to kind of go back to the script, and I'm working on something now, but once I finish that, I'll go back to that and polish that up. And so my goal is by the end of the year, at least to be in pre-production, if not something further.
Yeah.
Number 4, I want to create new music, man. I want to do, if not an EP, a whole album, you know what I mean? But, or if not an album, at least an EP, but yeah, I'm very excited. It was very fulfilling to be able to record a song, to not only like learn it within 20 minutes, workshop it for 20, and then record for 4 hours. Like, imagine being able to do that with material that like we actually know and have workshopped through the years. I'm very excited. But yeah, number 3, I had this idea. It's not a very original idea, but basically I want to make like a little documentary / cookbook of my mom's stuff. And like, I don't know how to do it yet. Whether I'm,
man.
maybe she's like teaching me the recipes and it's like us, behind the counter
Yeah.
shit. But then I want to intercut with, because she has these really great stories behind the recipes, like, dating back, to her grandmother who came, and like all these different generations go into the food. And I don't know, I think that could be kind of cool.
Dude,
So I'd like to shoot
that's such
that.
a cool idea, man. I think
yeah.
you got something there, dude, as far as like, because I think that you have a great story there that I think you can have through it, even just having a conversation with your mom about those recipes, something as simple as food.
Yeah.
Your mom's a
say
good
so much.
storyteller too.
She's
and that too,
yeah.
for sure.
And that's kind of like, we kind of got to get her past the idea of talking in front of a camera and doing it recorded. Like, I got to do it my best. Like, no, all right, so it's going to be trying to find that way to get her to be comfortable. And
just wear a GoPro and she'll never notice, like on your head.
Oh yeah, never.
It's casual.
Very casual.
I have one. Don't worry. Head strap.
Number 2, the next 2, like, honestly, so back in July I bought a typewriter, and it's kind of changed my whole creative process when it comes to writing and stuff. And I didn't know what to do with it at first, so I started like doing kind of Bukowski inspired poems and shit. And I've counted up the other day, I've got like 75 poems that I've written.
Damn, that's a lot, dude.
Yeah, so I'd like to publish like a little chapbook. I was looking that up. I'm not a poet. Not that I could like break into the poetry world. Not that I even want to, but like just to have something out, published. I don't know.
They're good.
They're all right. I don't know.
You read me a few. Yeah.
I did. I was trying to seduce you.
And you know what?
It'll work.
Honestly,
I'll never tell.
you had that idea of like the pairing photos of like the city and some of the photos you've taken around San Francisco, and I've seen some of your photos, and actually it looks great, dude.
Thanks, man.
I think that's a really cool idea, and I think you can definitely, you have so many poems there, man. Like, yeah, for sure. I would read them, dude, for sure.
Yeah. you know. I was
You know.
thinking one name could be Horny Poems to Tell in the Dark, but I don't know if that's the branding I want to go towards. I don't think it's going to be that.
Please
If
no.
I saw that in like my Amazon queue or
Be
something,
like,
or
that's the one.
that's the one.
With the
It
cover of you like
will
like
catch
this.
it will catch someone's eye for sure. That title.
Yeah,
So
not bad. Not bad. Little tilted hat.
Ugh,
yeah.
Um, like the dad fedora, not like the cool fedora, but like the
there's not a cool fedora.
there
I'm
is Indiana
sorry.
Jones wears a
Cool.
fedora.
Yeah, it's not cool because of the fedora. It's cool because of the ensemble. You know, like it's an outfit. It's a complete outfit. When have
It's
you ever
a
seen someone with a hat and you're like, that's a like
Do you ever watch movies from the 40s?
no, because
Well,
I'm 25. Like, just kidding. I'm not kidding. Anyway, continue with your goals.
number one. So yeah, I started off writing poetry. I don't know, and I'm writing, I don't know, a longer form kind of thing. Maybe it's a novel. Maybe I don't know what the fuck it is, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm 220 some odd pages in, um, all on typewriter. So like, you talk to other writers like, oh, I'm 30,000 or I'm this, 50,000 words deep, and I'm just like, I have no way of telling you what this is because none of it's digital. I have no way of counting that.
yeah.
Um, I can tell you page count. I'm at like 225 or something like that. Um, but it's been really cool. I've never written this way before, and it's maybe the most rewarding writing has ever been. And being able, seeing it on the page, like you can write a whole screenplay, but not until you print it out and you have that stack of papers and you put the Brad through it, that you feel like you actually have accomplished something. And so having this instantly, like, and I can make notes on it while it's coming out, I'm like, and you have to slow down, you have to think about what you're writing, like
Yeah.
it's with
Yeah.
when I'm writing on a computer, I'm constantly hitting delete, 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 and like going back. Here I
Self-editing and all
can't
that.
do that,
Yeah.
self-editing. Here it's like, okay, I gotta think about it first, because I can put a slash through words, but it'll always be there on the page. um and I don't mind doing that, but it's you really you're wasting ink, you're wasting paper, you're wasting resource. So you really have to approach it deliberately,
That's such
and
an
a bit
interesting.
slower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
like
you have to think about what you're about to write, and like almost like not self edit in your head, but like yeah,
oh, big time,
it
yeah.
changes your process for sure. And yeah, I
You really have
think
to think about, what do you want to say, what are you trying to
what are you trying to
accomplish,
say? Yeah,
how can you say it is that the most honest way that you can say it?
dude,
That's so
that's where you
so my
go.
goal is to finish this. I don't know if I'll probably destroy dozens of relationships if I ever published it, but I at least want to finish it, and then I can move on to the next thing. But I was thinking about it earlier, like I've written 12, 13 feature-length scripts. It's pretty big, and it's like, but I don't always have feature movie ideas. I haven't been excited about a movie in I don't know how long. I soured myself on it.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
But I still love writing, and it's like, well, what's the outlet then? So yeah, this little Smith Corona's giving me a new lease on that, so it's pretty cool. I want to thank the Hanks documentary, or no, it's not Tom Hanks. It's called California Typewriter. I saw it on Criterion Channel. It's very good.
Very good.
And then as soon as it ended, I bought a typewriter on eBay. Craigslist.
Hey,
There we go.
you showed me that.
Jonathan,
You showed me that typewriter.
I did
when
show
I
you that
visited
typewriter.
you,
I had
yeah.
you type. Sean was here. I kept that paper. I was like, this is gonna be worth something someday.
Watch out, world.
Someday.
What?
God.
Jonathan, do you have a list to throw our way?
Yeah. So yeah, playing Cyberpunk. There's some cool vehicles in Cyberpunk. I gotta say, they did the design pretty cool on it. So got me thinking. Because I'm sure we've played a bunch of games in our lifetime. What's your top 5 video game vehicles? So any kind of vehicle, and I should have told you guys because I do have one of these on my list. I have a like a spaceship on one of mine, which
That's a vehicle.
That's a vehicle,
That's
right?
absolutely
We've
vehicle.
we've gotten into the logistics of like what constitutes a vehicle.
'Cause,
And
like-
I think we could define this right now.
Okay.
Because I asked about like, okay, it began with, is a horse a vehicle?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, but is Yoshi a vehicle? And I say no.
I say no too, because
Yeah.
Yoshi's kind of like a tool. Like you gain kind of, well, I guess we were talking
You
about
move as one character.
yes, you're go to the same
Yeah.
speed, you kind of gain an ability, which is the tongue. And I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, you can have a car with guns, but like, you know, it's not the same. You're a character.
Yeah.
But horses count because horses,
Yes.
I mean, you could talk
Well,
with
and
them.
they move a lot faster through the world. Where Yoshi, you're like you said, you're going the exact
Mhm.
same speed.
So
yeah. Okay,
A to
cool.
B, that's the first rule.
A to
And then
B.
having a motor and then having wheels.
Yeah.
You know, so like these, if any of these, then
Okay.
vehicle.
Perfect.
Continue.
no.
Spaceship work.
I was like, man, I should have, because I was thinking about it. I was like, man, there's like all sorts of weird, different ways of traversing in some games, and yeah, vehicle can, yeah, we've run into this before with some top 5 lists where like you can narrow it down to a very specific top 5, like so it'd be like top 5 cars, I guess in video games, but yeah, vehicles. I definitely was thinking like stretching it for sure because there's so many different kinds of vehicles. So, yeah, starting with you guys, top 5 video game vehicles.
You're a special guest. Would you like to go first?
No, please go first.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, number 5. I'm having trouble deciding between 2. I'm gonna go with one because I don't think it's gonna be anywhere near anyone's list. I'm gonna go with the hoverboard from Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Ooh, wow.
This
okay.
was in the like caveman levels. And then in multiplayer, you could race each other on the hoverboards through like the lava pits and the
I remember
volcanoes.
that,
And things.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
It's very fun. And Conquer was a very like a tight controlled game. Like you can go back to that game and still play it pretty easily. Yeah, it's
Very
always
nice.
it's always fun,
Conker's Bad
especially
Fur Day,
multiplayer.
baby.
Number 4, this is a weird one because I'm going to go with the Batmobile from Arkham Knight, and I think that the Batmobile ruined Arkham Knight. Like I think its implementation hindered it because they had such a good formula for the first 2-3 games. And then they introduced the Batmobile. They were trying to give fans what fans wanted, but they had to make it necessary. So they turned it into a tank. And you know, they do all these gymnastics, logistical gymnastics to be like, Batman's not killing anyone, even though he'll zap them and they'll go flying, you know.
They're fine.
They're fine.
No, he's just stunned them. So yeah, it's never used in a lethal way, but it's still like you fight villains like I want to say it's Deathstroke you fight, who you, like is this hand-to-hand combatant, you know, and you have a tank battle, and you're just like this. They shoehorned it in, and it slowed the game down in a lot of ways. It was very frustrating, but playing back through, in a more forgiving kind of mindset, it does control nicely. If I'm in the mood for it, you know, the tank battles can be kind of fun.
Mhm.
And of course, like, yeah, what kid doesn't want to like jump into the Batmobile? Like you can choose not only your own skin, like the costume Batman's going to wear, ranging from Adam West to Christian Bale, but you can choose the skin for the Batmobile once you beat the game.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
You can have the 60s freaking, you know, George Barris Batmobile, the Adam West one. You can have the Tumbler. You can have, you know, it's incredible in that sense. And kind of like, especially when Arkham City came out, especially when you were able to change the costume to like Dark Knight Returns or whatever, it was like, this is like having my action figures again.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And like
Very cool.
the open world is my play set, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like I'm able to kind of like live in this world and have my imagination go wild, like I did as a kid with all my different action figures and stuff. So yeah, having the Batmobile, it's a nice thing. I think it ruins the game, but I like it in and of itself.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you think they will add add the Batmobile back into some of the, because aren't they making another Batman series game?
The
Or
next one is called, so the next one is by WB Montreal, who did,
Montreal? Okay.
what's the Arkham Origins,
Right? Yeah, they
which
did
was a
that.
surprisingly really good game. I think it had one of the best stories out of any of those games. But it wasn't Rocksteady. They're doing a game called Gotham Knights, which is Batman's dead, although it's not connected to Arkham Knight. So
Okay.
you can play between Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, Red Hood.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember hearing about this game. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
yeah,
Do
I
you
don't
think
know.
they will have the Batmobile in it, like as
No,
like a no? Huh?
I don't think so. And then Rocksteady's doing a Suicide Squad game. So,
Oh.
and it's
Damn,
called
interesting.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I think.
Kill the Justice.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Get them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Pretty wild stuff.
Pretty wild.
Number 3, I'm gonna go the Cheetah from Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Oh, I remember the Cheetah. Yeah.
Yeah, Cheetah was a good car.
It's a good car.
It was fast and it was durable. It was sleek and it was sexy. Yeah, it's a very good car. I liked the Cheetah.
Was that the one with the flames on it? Or am I
No, I
thinking
would not
different?
have picked a car with flames on it.
No. Okay. I'm trying to remember what that car was. I was just thinking of like all these like flashes of like GTA.
And I'm trying to remember. I don't know how to describe the look of a certain car. You know what I mean? It's,
yeah, no worries.
You should work for a car company.
I should, but I don't.
The joke is that I work for a car company. That's the joke.
Number 2, I'm gonna go the Snow Speeder from Shadows of the Empire on the N64.
Oh, good pull.
Yes.
Good one.
And I loved, like, I thought it controlled fairly well. It was a good battle between the ATSTs and the AT-ATs and the probe droids, but you could actually fire the harpoon cable and wrap it around the AT-AT.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was very cool. And that game came out in 95, 96. So we were like 7. That blows your fucking mind as a kid.
Yeah,
and then after that level, it becomes a third-person shooter. You play as Dash Rendar.
Oh, cool. Right.
And there's some space battles sprinkled throughout, but that first one is really good. There almost made my list was another level in that where you ride speeder bikes on Tatooine.
Yo, that's right.
Love that.
Dude.
Very cool. It's it handles terribly now, and it's like way too fast, but it was cool.
That's always the best thing with like the Star Wars. Like I've always like video games can definitely do it with like Star Wars. The fantasy of like living in Star Wars lore or whatever, and being able to like fly an X-wing or something like that, or there's a lot of cool stuff that you could do. Yeah. And,
like in Rogue Squadrons, the new one, you can like get in.
Game yet. Yeah, you can play.
It sounds like there's a VR version, and like you can be in I think in TIE Fighter, and it's just like that's fucking so cool.
That's so cool.
Anyway,
that might be my move to go VR. I think is like Star Wars.
Yeah,
that might be worth it. That might be
Talk about it. Yeah. I'll help you out there.
Right on. Number 1, I don't know if this counts because you never get off this thing in the game, but the skateboard and Tony Hawk.
Ooh, definitely.
I would say skateboards are technically a vehicle, but are they a vehicle in that game? I don't know, but that's my number 1 because oh my god, I love it so much.
Yeah, that's a thin line. We'll let it pass.
that is an interesting one though. I like that.
Yeah.
Like from it's
I was torn up about it.
Point B, right? In a way.
Yeah, exactly. Wheels. I mean,
it checks off a couple of the boxes.
And they're fully
there we go.
And they're so unique to different characters too, and like there's all sorts of different boards and stuff. So
yeah,
that's fun.
I like that.
That's
I like
good
that.
time.
Yeah, I love the customization aspect of it, especially in the new one.
Dude, I gotta pick that game back up because
it's very good.
It's fun, and there's still a lot of challenges I still gotta get, like some of the other characters I gotta play. But that's always the best part about it. With it's just so fun, and you can play it just casually, and just it's not too much of a crazy serious game or anything like that. And but yeah, dude, nice pick for one right
Thank
there.
you.
Very good.
Not bad, that.
Not bad, that. Yes.
Yes.
Alicia, would you like to go next?
Yes. Okay, so kind of almost directly talking about our is a horse a vehicle. I would say Epona from all of the Breath of the Wild all the Legend of Zelda games.
Yes.
But my favorite is of course Breath of the Wild, just because of the different ones, and I always name my horse Epona. So like they're all that to me. Except I did have a blue horse named Blue in Breath of the Wild, but Blue was fucking blasted to bits by a guardian. So
wow.
R.I.P. Blue. But anyway,
I didn't realize the horses get murked.
yeah, I was so sad. It was awful. I named Blue after it was Blue, but also it was after my friend's dog, and my friend was really sad and still like, stop saying Blue died. Anyway, anyway, yeah. So just the the thing that I'm just talking, I guess, specifically about. No, this is a mechanic in most of the games. Little carrots that show the boosts, and it's just so much fun. The handling is great, and Breath of the Wild has the musical themes that change along with it.
Yeah.
So your friendship with your horse goes up. Yeah, they kind of bring you on the default route, so you don't even have to use your joystick at any point, and the music plays, and it's a really good, beautiful time, and it changes dynamically. Anyway, love it. That's number 5 for me. A whole horse. We love horses.
Wonderful.
I didn't get a chance to look this up before, but I would say in Mario Kart, there's a Zelda motorcycle, and it's Breath of the Wild themed. It's kind of like it's like dark, and it has gold lines on it. It's Guardian themed-esque. It's so fun. I love motorcycles in Mario Kart just because the drift, and I love the drift. It's so easy and good. And specifically with Rosalina riding that, like that gets a girl. So I love the Link's, I'm calling it Link's motorcycle from Mario Kart, the most recent one on Switch.
Nice.
Yes.
That game is so much fun, by the way.
It's very good.
Fun.
I think it's my favorite Mario Kart.
It's just
high
replay value right there.
Super
high.
high.
The maps
anytime. Yeah.
It has the old maps and new maps. It's a good time.
It's got all the maps.
It's got all the maps.
all
of them. Yeah. So so for a tie for my number 2 slot, I couldn't decide because all of these are so nostalgic for me. So I think this one is also on the line of I mean, it's truly a vehicle, but in the sense of our qualifications, what is it? So it's the taxi from Crazy Taxi. I love that game. I grew up with a Dreamcast, and it'd be Crazy Taxi all day, every day. So just like insane hills, and it's in San Francisco too, so that's a good point for my heart. So just being able to basically hit people, everyone gets out of the way, and hardcore stops. I also wasn't very good. I don't think I beat Crazy Taxi at all, so I just love that little fast boy. But yeah, so I mean the nostalgia of Crazy Taxi. Have you guys played Crazy Taxi?
Love Crazy. It was one of the first games I rented for GameCube.
Oh yeah. GameCube. I forgot it was on there.
Yeah, GameCube. I think I played on GameCube too as well. It is actually one of the titles on my one of the vehicles on my list too as well.
Sean. Same mindset.
I mean, I usually sometimes when I do some of these lists, I like search up like top lists, but like I was just thinking about like all the games that had like vehicles in it, and for that reason too, with like Crazy Taxi, like it's just so I think when I played it first, it was an arcade. Or it was like that kind of version of it. So it had that like arcade feel to it, where it was just fun and fast, and it wasn't it wasn't too complicated for like the driving aspect of it too. It's just kind of like
like NFL Blitz.
Yeah, it had exactly that feeling, dude, and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. And yeah, that vehicle is just so wild and doesn't. I'm trying to remember, like, does the character doesn't he do like these weird animations where he's like jumping and
Yes.
stuff? Or
Like, all
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
yeah,
All
he's like,
right.
all right,
Crazy
yeah.
taxi. Yeah.
Because there's
Crazy
Joe's
taxi.
Taxi. That's obviously the one I would pick.
Oh yeah.
But there were other ones. There was
Good
the
for you. Representation in games. It must be nice. Eh. But it's bomb. I'm so glad that's on your list too. So yeah, so tied for number 2, Crazy Taxi. And this is the nostalgia bet. This is also kind of a questionable vehicle. It's the King of Red Lions from Wind Waker, which is your boat.
Oh.
Yeah, Wind Waker was the first one I played by myself all the way through. Like I did Ocarina and Majora's, of course. But yeah, Wind Waker is my childhood, basically. And so that guy, he's your friend, and then you get, you've a spoiler for Wind Waker, I guess. You find out he's the king of Hyrule, and he's been your buddy the whole way. And I'm sorry, I'm so sorry I spoiled that for
I
you.
never finished it. I got lost at sea one time, and I just never found my way back,
that's
and I
another
gave
thing.
up.
You have so much quality time, and you're just like chilling in the ocean, and
Yeah.
people get lost. It's hard. It's easy to get lost.
Yeah. I never
but
made it back. I got very far.
Have you played or beat at least?
I played it, but I haven't beaten the game. I don't think I owned it. It was on GameCube, right?
One of those.
Yeah.
Yes,
GameCube. I pre-ordered that thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, love that.
I got the special Ocarina of Time and Master Quest pre-order with it.
I had that too, except I stupidly gave away my Ocarina because I'm like, Wind Waker. I was like 5, I feel like. I don't know.
Oh,
I was
silly.
Yeah, I was young when that came out. I remember my dad pre-ordered it, and my dad wasn't home. But me and my mom, we got it, and I were like, woo, and we like ran and put it in the thing. And my dad got home as the intro screen was on, and he was so mad. He was like, "Did you know that opening someone else's mail is illegal? Like you could go to jail." Anyway, my parents tended to scare me straight. Anyway, I love that bearded boat. It's my good friend.
I like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes me now I want to play like Zelda. You've been speaking a little Zelda.
I talk far too much about Zelda.
No, it's cool. I have I mean Breath of the Wild was awesome. I didn't beat it on Switch, of course going towards my not beating games ever, but
I'm with you there.
I really enjoyed it, and I definitely want to go back to the older games because I haven't played all of them in the series, so it'll be interesting to play them. And but yeah, that's super cool. Wind Waker especially, I think. Yeah,
it's so good, and I've never played the remake for Wii U. Yeah, you have that.
I have the Wii U.
But it's just like better graphics, I guess. And I don't know anything about it, so I'm not saying
Hopefully
shit.
They make it available for Switch. That's what
I know that's the goal. I wanted them to do what they did with Mario, which was
put all of them.
Put all of them in. I mean, it would be nice if you put all of them in a bundle. I'm not going to ask for it.
Well, what were the ones that came out on the Wii, and they weren't like Twilight Princess? Like that wasn't.
Oh yeah,
it's
TP and Skyward Sword. I call it TP.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have their place. I did not like Twilight Princess. I got pretty far in Skyward Sword. Anyway, I could do a top 5 Zelda games thing for you easy, but I'll save that for a different epi. You're welcome. So number 1, it came into my mind pretty quickly. In Kirby Air Ride, there is a ship called the Wing Star, and I call it my seagull. And so it's the most aerodynamic one in the game, and you can just kind of soar around the map. And I would do free play and just like soar around, just hit friends with it. I don't know if that was the goal of the game. I think it was. It was. I love that little flying seagull ship. I called it my little seagull. I would always go to the top of the map and Kirby Air Ride. I don't know. Did y'all do that?
I've never even heard of that.
Shut
up. Never played it.
Yeah.
You've never. Oh my God. Weird. Different generations and GameCube.
No.
Wow. Different gen. Weird. Kirby Air Ride was the shit. Like everyone I know is just like, oh yeah, Smash Bros and Kirby. Like we love that
Smash
shit.
Brothers for sure.
Well, obvi, but like, oh man.
I haven't played a lot of the Kirby series games, and I think that's probably
Not
why.
really a Kirby though. It's almost like Super Monkey Ball, but with ships. And like
Super Monkey Ball is
I
cool.
remember Super Monkey Ball. Yeah, man, I had
That was like the first like Sega title released for Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think that was like one of the first games I got on GameCube when it came out. And
You had it? I never had it.
I have it.
I rented it. It was great.
Yeah.
so much fun.
That and Pikmin. I never bought Pikmin.
I never bought Pikmin. There's one on the Switch now, and I'm thinking about getting it because it's like I feel like I would like this.
They were good.
Yeah.
They were good games.
We've got Nintendo on our minds, guys.
I'm sorry, that's me.
No, it's cool.
Well,
I haven't really played my
Nintendo.
Switch as much. Wait, what's up, dude?
I hooked up my Super Nintendo recently.
Ooh.
And I've got my N64 on standby.
Yes.
Brought a Wii back from my parents. Got a Wii U. You brought a Switch over.
Mm-hmm. We stand Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I mean, speaking of like, I guess like gamers or not gamers, game developers' rights, like they postpone like Breath of the Wild, Animal Crossing, all for the sake of employee health, and like the game's better off for it. So we love Nintendo.
Oh heck yeah,
they're amazing.
And yeah,
they've been around for like 150 years.
Yes, I remember at E3, the same one as Cyberpunk. I was waiting in line for this Luigi's Mansion. They like built it inside the whatever the center, and I was just standing talking to my friend, and across the room I just see this old Japanese man walk by, but I recognize him. I'm like, is that a kid? Oh my gosh, I was about to say the name of the Sword Art Online creator. I'm sorry, does nerds understand here? I'm talking to the audience. But I saw the creator of Zelda, Aonumo, sorry. And I saw this, I was just like, is that? And I almost had a stroke, and he made eye contact with me and he smiled. And I was like, no. And I was just like, I'm sorry, Danielle, my friend. I was just like, I can't pay attention to you because Aonumo just made eye contact with me. And anyway, that's my another Zelda tidbit. Nintendo wealth of knowledge. Not
so
really.
I think I was at that same E3 because
hell yeah.
That was that was like 2 years ago, right? Was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago?
I think it was, yeah.
I forgot how I got there. I had a friend of mine who had like an extra ticket or something.
Hell yeah.
And I was able to go. And at that same Luigi's Mansion place was the guy who voiced Mario's voice. He was like chilling there. And
they were doing shots.
Dude, it was so crazy because I remember watching I watched like an interview with him or something. I literally like a few weeks before I went to E3, and I was like, "Yo, that's the guy who does Mario's voice." And then like we took a picture with him, and then like all of a sudden, and it's crazy because he's like this older guy, and he's just he's selling it, man. He's doing the voice, everything.
Oh yeah.
Does he wear overalls?
No, but he's
incognito.
He seems like the nicest dude ever, and it's like if you're the dude voicing Mario, and it's just like I'm sure you have quite a fantastic life, and he just seemed
fantastic pure life.
I don't know, not pure, but
I picture him
honestly,
like in a pool swimming in
not
money.
Wrong.
Yeah,
and hookers.
He can get whatever he wants. He just gotta say
Pretty
those
much.
magic words. Mamma mia.
My favorite is lip pickle. Remember that from the N64? Lick pickle.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you saying lick pickle?
Let's go.
Let's go. But yeah, that E3 was definitely like crazy.
Awesome.
I got to see like just random game culture, like
so many famous people too.
It's like you wouldn't know of like I don't do too much like streaming or anything, but like it's like streamers. It's like a huge thing for streamers. It's a huge thing for developers and stuff. So that's super cool though. That's funny.
Yeah,
probably the same one.
Definitely. Luigi's Mansion line.
Yeah.
Well, you guys.
That's to me.
That's very good.
Play Kirby Air Ride. I don't.
That's
that's wild. Okay.
So is that?
I've never even heard of it.
Is that available on Switch at all, or because that's kind of
no? It's GameCube. Yeah.
It's GameCube only. Okay.
I mean, I have. Yeah, I guess it's sad.
It
Lost
makes
to the winds of time.
I regret getting rid of my, or not getting rid, but I think my GameCube broke, or like it just wasn't usable
Oof.
after some point. And yeah, I mean the Switch I think is the only thing Nintendo currently I own right now, just in my where I'm at right now.
It's as it should be. No, not should, but it's the best thing.
Well,
It's a
yeah,
console and a handheld. Like it's the best. Like you
that,
can't argue with that. Like it's so
yeah.
versatile.
And I
I'm
cannot
gonna use
wait
it.
for more games, like some of the older games from like the GameCube, or even, man, if they can get some of those N64 games on there, I would be so happy to play them.
Yes.
I just one quick thing, going off of that, my brother has the new Xbox, and when I got to see him for the holidays, he showed me the kind of the Xbox, like I guess it's the kind of their live store, or live
Mm.
game. I forgot what it's called, but it's kind of similar to like PlayStation Plus, where you can like play games for free, or you have like subscription. And they had Perfect Dark on there, which I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh, I
That
always
was
wanted. I think I rented it.
Sounds familiar.
It was a
it
GameCube exclusive. It was like a big deal.
yeah,
Did
but
it
it was
take place in
this.
like three different timelines or some
It
shit
was
like
like
that?
something crazy
The
like that, but
Byzantine Empire and like.
yeah, but it was the same. I think it was the same people who made the GoldenEye game. Um,
Oh.
Rare,
Oh,
right?
Perfect Dark. I was thinking of Eternal Darkness. My bad.
Oh, it's
But
all good.
yes, Perfect Dark was an N64 game.
Yeah, so my brother had it, like the remaster version, and I guess there's some weird legal licensing thing for that's why GoldenEye
I'm
hasn't really
sure.
come out for
Because Microsoft
Nintendo.
owns Rare.
Yes. Um,
Uh,
so they could actually possibly release it. So the cool thing is it's a remastered version, and they have some of the GoldenEye like maps on there for the multiplayer, and it's like,
Oh, it's so
and it's weird.
that's
It's
cool.
weird because it's like it's updated graphics and stuff, but like the mechanics are just like the same, like for as far as like GoldenEye, and I know it's a different controller, obviously, but yeah. So it's like, man, the possibility of playing like GoldenEye on a next gen console could be
that's very
possible.
cool. That's
Very
very
cool.
cool.
But
I want
yeah,
that. I
man,
want that so bad.
I know, me too, man. That's the only shooter I want right now.
I'd buy a console just to play GoldenEye, like updated.
Dude, I might have to switch
Although
to
no, I
freaking
just plug it in.
Xbox, dude. Cause yeah, my brother
No.
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 No thanks.
This is a
No
I
thanks.
know I
PlayStation
said I
game.
would, but no.
Yeah.
Um,
Um
very good, very good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Jonathan, your top
Vehicles.
five video
Oh
game
yeah.
vehicles.
I already said, so number 5 was Crazy Taxi. I thought that
Wonderful.
Amazing.
was super cool. And the from what I remember too, the taxi design of it too was just like so bold and out. It was like a,
So sharp.
I don't know what.
It's like a cartoon brought to life.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's like it looks like an old like muscle car, not kind of like. Oh, I'm trying to think of a car it looks like, but it was like a convertible. It had like no
Yeah.
top on it or something, right?
Yeah.
It was
So
checkered.
that already was like, oh, this
Sometimes.
is so different for like a taxi design, kind of traditional design. So, and yeah, I just love how you could drive around and just it was just so wild.
So wild.
So
Crazy,
number
some would
5,
say.
yeah, Crazy Taxi. Number 4, I've got the Scout car from Half-Life 2.
Ooh.
I played a little bit of the Half-Life series when we were. My brother mostly played Half-Life, but I was able to kind of tag along too and play it. And the Scout car was kind of like a bare bones, like rusted car, I would say. And the cool thing about Half-Life 2 is they introduced into this game like a new physics engine, and so it did a lot of cool stuff. So it was able to like kind of operate very freely this vehicle in the game. But it's funny. It looks like just a very bare bones like go kart, but it's like a full size car, but it's like a
That's
skeleton
rad.
of a. It
That's
doesn't
rad.
have like panels or anything like that. But it was a very useful vehicle in the game, and it got you obviously to point A to point B, and it's just very recognized with the Half-Life series, I would say, for fans of Half-Life. So yeah, Scout car for number 4.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Let's see here. 19. What is this? Oh, that's right. Number 3, there's a lot of vehicles in the Grand Theft Auto series that I like, and there's a lot of cool stuff, and some cars you kind of favor over the other. One of them in particular in GTA 3 was one of the kind of sports cars that you could get, the Vector M12. I know
Ooh.
it has like a name, a legit name to it. Um, I remember it being like one of those. It looked like like a old, like classic Corvette. Maybe I think would be like the closest car I can probably compare it to.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And it's with GTA 3, like, it's the kind of, they started to build a little bit more with like vehicles and what you can use to traverse the world, and of course you all want to get like a sports car by the end of the game or something, right?
Definitely.
To break
keep in your house.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's been one of the cars that I remember just kind of very specifically as far as the look of it and the way it drove, and I think there was like, obviously with this open world game, there was like levels of like quality to some of the vehicles too, and I never really favor that too much, but like, yeah, when you start out, you get kind of the lower quality, slower cars, and so when you're getting a fast car in Grand Theft Auto is awesome, because you can just like go everywhere and beat out and run over a bunch of people, all that kind of stuff. So
the good stuff.
You know what the fastest cars were in at least the first few Grand Theft Auto games?
No, I don't know.
The cop car.
Oh,
the cop car, dude. I believe, was the fastest car in the game,
and probably
at least the first few.
Damn.
Like durable, right? Or the most like not armored, but like
tanks.
Yeah,
like damage. Maybe, I don't know about that. I just remember maybe it was Andrew telling me that they're the fastest ones.
Shoot, man! Now you guys made me think of the tank. The tank was the coolest vehicle.
The tank was pretty damn freaking cool.
Yeah, because once you got that, you could just pretty much run over cars too, and like, yeah, it was all sorts of cool stuff. But I'll stick to the Vector M12 for 3.
Nice.
Number 2, I kind of had a similar one to Alisia. I have the standard Mario Kart, like from the OG, like
nice
series or whatever. I do really like the new Mario Kart games, and you can customize your cars more, and I think that's really cool. And there's some like advantages you can have. You can kind of build to what your liking is and how you want to play. But the classic kart, it's my earliest memories of Mario Kart, and earliest memories of playing like multiplayer games to some degree with people, like co-op games, and racing against people, and with your friends, and it's funny, like thinking about multiplayer games before like the internet, and like before
all local
stuff, and like that's how, I mean, Joey actually was like, my introduction to like GTA is like, you had the PlayStation 2, and like you had those games, and I would go over to your house and play those. It's like,
come here, come play with me.
come play with me. But that's my exposure to like some of those games. Is like you being at your friend's house, or playing a little co-op or a race or whatever, and it was just so much fun.
Everyone used to just bring their controller over, and we'd dude,
I miss that.
Like
too.
that's
yeah. It was such a definitely kind of like a almost like not a ritual, but like it was a thing.
Yeah, like, we'd play video games. We'd go outside to the park or whatever, and we'd run around. We'd play Manhunt. We'd do whatever, and then we'd come back and we'd play video games until parents picked us up. It was beautiful.
I do miss that, man. And I like.
We'd have pizza.
Sometimes I play online, dude, but like maybe that's why I'm not as into multiplayer online games these days, because maybe I'm missing that. I do miss that.
Missing that human component.
Exactly.
Yeah, because now everyone just calls you like slurs online.
Some 12-year-old
and you're like, you're 8.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa.
Some 8-year-old kid is like, yeah. So Mario Kart.
You're like, how do you know that word? Shit.
Yeah, internet, baby.
It's shocking, man.
It's wild out there.
Especially those Call of Duty lobbies, man.
I mute everybody whenever I play.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, you have to.
Oh yeah. So my number 1 actually is another Nintendo released game. it's funny. I feel like a lot of Nintendo has some great like vehicles and cool things to travel the worlds with.
Good roots.
So good routes, yeah. So I believe it's called Arwing from Star Fox, the Star Fox series.
Ooh.
Do a barrel roll, as they say.
Classic.
Yeah, classic Star Fox. I had exposure through Star Fox 64 through N64. It's super cool. I mean, having like the different weapon choices, and there's like the way you were able to use the bumpers on the controller to kind of like sway your vehicle left and right was very interesting. And it had so many different, like, you could control a lot of different aspects of the vehicle as far as like where you can place it and put it. So I thought that was like a huge leap forward, especially like coming from like the Super Nintendo and then N64, and kind of like changing how vehicles are used in a game, and how they're utilized.
Totally.
And it's funny, like, just a game as simple as like Star Fox, where it's like, whoa, this is like, there's a lot of stuff happening in this game right now where the mechanics are really, and it's so much fun. It's satisfying and fun to play. And yeah, I definitely want to. I don't know if there's a remake for that game at all, because I would totally buy that right now.
Yeah, I feel like that's a missed opportunity. There's so
is,
many
honestly.
franchises where it's like, why isn't it here?
Exactly.
Like Metroid.
Oh,
But yeah.
Are the
I'm sure
Donkey
there's-
Kongs on there? Because they're rare, or the
I
first
think
ones.
Tropical Freezes. I could be lying.
The Super Nintendo ones were rare, and maybe the N64 as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like a crazy licensing thing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, we're all waiting for those games for sure, because I definitely will like buy that, no problem. But yeah, Star Fox, guys.
Awesome.
It
Wonderful.
makes me like want to dig up my N64. I think I honestly I think it's back home in San Francisco, and hopefully maybe next time I visit, I might have to just like do a deep dig through my house and just try to
it's
find my
satisfying.
system, dude. I know,
It's satisfying.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my 5, guys.
Love it. It's a good 5. Jonathan, do you have anything
Yes.
you'd like to share with our dear, sweet, lovely imaginary audience this week?
Honestly, I don't have much, guys. I will keep you guys posted on my cyberpunk madness. I don't know why I've been so taken back by this game, but it's just
Stick with it.
it's
Go.
it's just crazy, dudes. Like, honestly, I've never seen such a failure in gaming. The last
Jesus.
thing I saw.
No Man's
No,
Sky.
seriously, No Man's Sky. I bought that the day it came out. I saw it, and
Whoa.
I saw how bad that shit was, and then now it's like a great, I heard it's a pretty good game. So, but maybe it's just interested me so much because of the future of like gaming companies, and how much, what's the expectation, what can we do, what's realistic, how can this move forward, and maybe that's why I'm so interested in it. But also, I love playing the game. But other thing to share, I can't think of anything, guys. I guess to shout it out, if anyone's watching this right now, we do have a new layout. Joe and I spent a day fixing up our look. And
it was Sean. It was me going, yeah, I like that.
Well,
it was Sean. Give yourself
credit. We're in the
credit.
process of revamping the stream, and we're trying to get a new logo too. So you'll see some changes on the stream. Hopefully the next few weeks or few months.
We're rebranding. We're gonna go family friendly.
Family
Good luck.
Oh shit. Yeah, fuck that. But yeah, we have just some small changes, and I think we're gonna be bringing on more guests, which is super cool, and I think we're super excited to have more people on, and I think we're gonna reach out a little bit more to other podcasters, and so I guess maybe that should have fallen in some of the 2021 goals, dude. Especially taking the podcast into another realm, as they say.
Yes.
Definitely year by year. I think Joy and I have been doing this for a few years, and starting to get a little more. More people are listening and interacting with us. So we definitely want to give back and make it a cool show, and we're still interested in doing this and having fun doing it. So, I think it's exciting that we're streaming and, have this kind of new, outlet for us. And I think that's, yeah, kind of the next steps for Top Fives podcast. So excited to get more people on too. And Alicia, we appreciate you having you on today
Thank
as well.
you for having me.
Yeah.
Like,
It's your first podcast?
I want to say no. Because I don't know if it's the truth or not because
Fair.
I'm like opinionated about it. I can't say if yes or no.
All
Think
right.
about it. But yeah, thank you for having me on. It's been a good time. I love talking about myself, as both of you guys do too. So I think I fit
in your video game stuff. So it's all good.
Yes.
But also,
and
it's
follow
cool
me
to,
for VR.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool to. That's what I always like about having like guests on, because it's just it's usually Joey and I shooting the shit all the time, and it's cool.
He's sick of me, and I'm sick of myself. So
We all are.
But it's cool to get some other and also other topics in there too as well. So that maybe we not usually talk about. So
yeah.
Freshening up.
Right
do you
on.
guys have anything to share this week as well?
Anything that you'd like to put out in the universe? Something you'd like to you've consumed and want to put back out there for people to digest?
Go to therapy. I don't know. Life's just I don't know.
No,
that's the most helpful piece of information I have for you.
No,
Talk about your feelings. Love your friends. Love your
thing,
family. I don't know.
Beautiful.
My entire family just had COVID, so just don't stay inside. I don't know. Wear a mask. That's all I have to say. And follow me on Twitter. Don't follow.
We'll have time for that.
Don't follow me. Cool. That's it. My wisdom.
Wonderful. Love that. That's beautiful. Mine are much more shallow.
Surprise.
Surprise.
I had myself a little movie marathon on the Criterion Channel. Terrence Malick is a filmmaker I've always been intimidated by, and I thought I'm going to watch his films. And I watched Badlands, Days of Heaven, and The New World, and they're really great, especially Badlands. In fact, I enjoyed them in that order. But yeah, really great. Check it out. The other thing is, I just got a new record, and you and me have seen this guy in concert. I got McCartney 3.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And
awesome.
And I got it in this beautiful translucent mint
that's so
blue.
Cool.
Yeah, and I listened to it and I really liked it. I liked it a lot more than his last release, Egypt Station.
Cool.
So and it's much more experimental. He's just, like he said, he recorded this in quarantine, not knowing if he was actually going to release it, and it feels like that. He's just fucking around in the studio, it's Paul McCartney fucking around in the studio. So
that's so cool. I got to check out that.
Very good.
Too.
Yeah.
Dude,
so
vinyl. Okay. Cool.
Some vinyl.
Fresh.
There we go. So where can we find more of your work on the internet? Where can people check you out?
Well, I'm on Twitter. I'm not going to make you follow me. I either speak far too much or far too little. It's my name, which is Alisia Martinez with a Z. I don't know if there's an S, but sometimes people ask. Alisia Martinez _. I'm on Twitter. Don't follow me on Instagram. Twitter's where I talk the most. And yeah, I mean, you can stay tuned about game news because ideally it's coming out this year. It's coming out this year, actually. That's what I say.
What's the game's handle?
At Lift Last Days. We just went through a little. Yeah, I believe that's the one. We just rebranded up a little. It's the year of rebranding. We had to do that too.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's Lift. That's me. And yeah, thanks all.
Wonderful. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Was it my favorite part of the show where you say bye?
No, we still have to give our handles and stuff.
Beautiful.
Yes. Jonathan, where can we find more of your work on the internet this week?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Sean Day Music and on my website, SeanDayMusic.net.
Yes.
Joey, where can we find you?
You can check me out on Twitter at Joey Prati. And you helped me with this. My website, we just did a rebranding of that, joeyparati.com. So just my first last name now. Check it out. You can find some of my writing, some of my short films, some of my photography. You can find the show, I believe. So check it out, joeyparati.com. You can check out the show at Top 5 Pod. That's TOPFIVE 5 POD on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, and at gmail.com, and on Facebook at Top 5 Podcast. We're on Apple Music, Google Play, and SoundCloud. So please give us a like, give us a listen, give us a follow, give us your love, and Jonathan, we will give you
juicy love in return.
that's the filthiest one you've done yet, my friend.
I know. I gotta
enjoy that. I dig it. I dig it. Until next time. I'm Joey Prati.
I'm Sean Day.
I'm Alisia Martinez.
Thanks.
I don't endorse any part of that.